Hi, so today I'm going to be showing you what I carry in my Stoma Supplies wash bag. A lot of people have been interested to know what it is that I use for my stoma and obviously how much this bag can hold. Now, I haven't got this bag filled up because I actually need to restock my things. So the first thing I have in my bag is my antibiotic cream that I got prescribed this morning because my skin has decided to be infected. So that's fantastic. Next is my stoma bags. I always pre-cut these before I put them in, but sometimes I do cut them smaller. So these are the 20 millimeters, yeah. We're doing the 20 and 30 millimeters, so not quite 25, so just below. I carry baby wipes. I love my baby wipes and I would be lost without them. Next is a sanitary towel. Now, you honestly don't know when you're going to need one of these, especially if you've got what we refer to as a Barbie butt, which is basically where the rectum is no longer there, that is sewn up and that is gone. But you can still have a large bowel even though that part of the large bowel is gone. Okay, so next up I have is some OstoGuard things. So I have the No Sting Protective Skin Barrier Films. This one's a spray, this one's a dab. I prefer the dab because I can just dab it onto the areas that I need it to go to. But say for example, if the whole area is something, you know, that is sore, then I'll use the spray. And then also a handy trick is if you want things to dry quickly, fan it with one of these. Next up is my disposable bags, which are a mess. I usually do have them nice and neat, but this morning was very rushed. It was an emergency appointment, so I was rushing about trying to take my bag off that I'd already had on and trying to change it quickly so that, you know, I wasn't like wasting the doctor's time, so to speak, you know, because there was a waiting room full of people and this is, you know, gonna take a little minute here. So next up I have is the Siltac Silicone Ostomy Seal, which is these. Now I use these around the stoma and it's for 20 millimeters to 28 millimeters. So this is really good because it's not an actual specific size, so it's not specifically 20, it's not specifically 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's literally anything in between, so you can mold this literally, you know, to how big your stoma is going to be on a specific day. There are some days where mine is really small, there's some days where it's really big, especially if I'm suffering from constipation. The stoma itself can get very, very swollen, so that's something that's very good and honestly, highly recommend. And next up I have, which I just received, I think it was yesterday, is the Convatec Or Adhesive Protective Powder. So this is if you've got really quite damp kind of skin around the stoma area, or if you've got weeping skin such as myself at the moment with the infection. So this is really handy stuff to use. I mean, it's really quite easy to use, where for me I use a cotton wool pad like this, and then I just tap it onto the pad and then directly put it on to the area that needs to go, and then I'll use my dry wipes, by the way, that I can't find. They have disappeared, but I will find them, but I use those to dust off the excess because you don't want that excess powder sitting there, because then for example the seals in the bags aren't going to stick, so you want that even kind of coverage, but just so enough. There is also something called the crusting effect, which is where you put the powder down first, then you spray a skin barrier, and then you repeat that process and then dust it off, and that's supposed to really help. So I don't know if that's something that you guys have tried. The next thing I use, and I absolutely love these, is the Astoa, I don't know what you call them, elastic tape I think or something. So I put them around like that, however you want. And I thought for a start you had to actually heat these before you apply to the skin, but this morning it was just normal temperature, and these were easy just to put onto the skin directly without having to heat them up first. So that is a first, so that's really good. And next up I have is my adhesive remover from Elise. Is that going to zoom in? There we go. And then I have the skin barrier spray, which I use. So these don't have any smells, and none of the products I use have a smell except from these ones, which is like a hint of lavender. And it smells absolutely lovely, it really does. And then I just have like my clothes clip that I use from Respond. Is it gonna zoom in? Oh, you can't see it, but anyway, so that just clips your clothes up for when you're trying to change the bag, which is quite handy. And last but not least, I have the Pelican non-sting adhesive remover wipes. So these are really good if you've had a cannula put in or a blood test and they leave that sticky tape on your arm, and it leaves like a little bit of residue. So if you take one of these and just gently wipe it, it takes all that adhesive off, and it's fantastic. And another one that I use that is quite similar is the Elite Sting Free ones, and they're pretty good as well. There is actually another one, I can't find them today, but I will have a look, and they're by, I think they're by Ostomy as well maybe, and they're blackcurrant ones and they smell amazing. I remember when I was in hospital, and there was quite a few ladies on the ward that were next to me, and the amount of like sticky tape they had on their arms, like the residue left over, and I says like, take one of these, and they were like, whoa, game changer. Absolutely brilliant. Now lastly, what I sometimes, if I'm traveling, this is what I'll carry with me, but obviously I don't carry it with me all the time because it can be quite heavy, and that is the calamine lotion. That's just from Morrison's, and it's not expensive at all. And then cotton wool pads, just for when I do have a leak and the skin gets a little bit burnt, then that is something that I'll use. It's something I actually use every day, just because I'm having issues with just little leaks from obviously the dampness that I'm having, just from open skin and the infection, and things like that. So that is everything that I use. If you have any questions, please ask. I am waiting on some samples of things to arrive, like some barrier creams and things like that, just to try for dry skin. And if anybody has any tips or anything, then just let me know. And thank you for